Horror Fiends, what's up? It's your boy, Ricky Grimes. I'm back with my man, Joe. This is the Horror Fiend Podcast, episode 8. It's the penultimate episode. It's called Trust. This one got Lance all over it. Joe, what's up? What's your quick thoughts about this one?
Well, this one, actually, the title, if you pay attention throughout the whole movie, episode, that's what it's all about, is trust.
Yeah.
This is a lot, there's going to be interaction with Maggie and Daryl. Everybody brings up the word trust. So that was a running theme throughout the whole episode.
All right, brother. So let's start off with the cold open. We get right into the story, right where we left off. Lance, he's interrogating Aaron and Gabriel. And I know it's meant to be serious, but Aaron and Gabriel had like some of the funniest responses during this whole conversation here.
They did. Well, they had funny looks on their faces.
Yeah. Where Lance
funny,
was like, that's really the story you're going. And they're like, yeah, that's what happened.
That's it. But I mean, right before all that, though, we got to see dead Toby.
Yes.
Like, he's
R.I.P.
laying there.
R.I.P. Toby.
Oh, well, and you know what I wanted? I wanted him to, like, when he's laying there, to actually open his eyes and be, a walker, so you can see Daryl just put the knife. Just the last. I would have liked to have seen that. So you have the governor, and now Lance is slowly just inching, because I mean, the governor up to that point was one of the one I hated the most.
Yep.
But Lance is getting up there, so it's going to depend on who Lance kills for him to inch up over the governor for me.
It's interesting because in the comic, Lance wasn't this villainous at all. He was a little scummy, but he was more of a background character. And I think because they got Josh Hamilton to play this role, they took advantage of it, because this guy, let me tell you, Lance is so good at making people uncomfortable, because he knows there's something wrong, but he's questioning them and interrogating them in such a way where he's making so much sense and is making all the other characters uncomfortable as well. And this whole scene right here, man, I loved it. And like you mentioned before, I was waiting for Toby to get up because his brain was still intact, because when he hit the ground, he was still alive.
And he was just eating.
He was eating so I was waiting for that. I don't know if maybe it's something they film it and they had to cut it for whatever reason, but that was pretty good. And Daryl comes in. Of course, he backs up Aaron and Gabriel, and he's saying, these guys are more than capable of, doing what they said they did. And of course, Lance takes him to his word a little bit later on in the episode. And we're going to fast forward real quick, because now Lance, this is where we go into the Hilltop, where No Other Way ended with that flash forward. Now we know why they ended up at the gate. So what you thought about that?
I did. I mean, I like getting up to there. This is, again, this just it's just a more, this episode is very Lance centric.
Yes.
And I like the buildup, because I was worried on how we got there.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to be something, honestly, I thought it was going to be something corny, as far as like the storyline got to, where it was going to be a Hilltop versus Commonwealth in a war kind of way. Yeah. And it wasn't that. So I did like that they didn't go that way. So listen, first of all, again, my one appreciation of Lance is this. Lance and I share one thing in common. Our mouths say one thing, but our faces say another one. And that's when I look at him, I hear what the words he's going to say, but it's the expression that he makes. Yeah. And he does such a good job at that. But when we got to that car scene and I'm watching it, I mean, I'm laying in bed, my heart is racing. I'm just like, oh my God, don't turn on. I mean, and when it didn't turn on, and that's the thing about him, again, the facial.
Yeah.
No talking was involved. So when it didn't turn on, you saw the fucker.
He kept trying.
Like,
because he knows.
His face, the words his face was saying was, fucking son of a bitch. Like, mother. He walked in with such a, like, I'm going to show this car is going to turn on and I'm going to catch it. And then it doesn't. And you see the deflating happening. And he does not like being deflated or proved wrong. He just, and that's what his face just literally shows it. he doesn't speak it, so that's what's great about the way he's been doing it.
The best part about it is the fact that he knows for a fact, 100%, he knows that they're lying to him. And
Yeah.
he thought he got him there. And he fooled me because when he first got to the car, I thought he initially had a genuine interest in the vehicle. Like, oh, I haven't seen a car this old in such a long time, or, but when he started looking at the dirt on the wheels and, that's what I started thinking. Oh, he knows they took that car.
Because that's the car that they drove.
Yes.
When they showed up on the road. That's what I'm saying.
Yep, I didn't catch that initially.
And here's the other part is that I think, truthfully, it just happened to be a malfunction.
Yes.
Because if you watched Maggie,
she was nervous.
Maggie was shitting bricks. Maggie was sitting there like, oh God, oh God, oh God. So when it didn't happen, Maggie was like, that's why, like, again, the facial expression.
So good.
This season has been like in the filming and the way they're showing everybody, and just it's capturing these actors. The actresses are doing an amazing job on the subtleties. It's the subtleties that are delivering this season.
What I like too with Lance is, even though the car didn't start, he still had an ace up his sleeve. He had an ace. He had it. He had the hat. He had
Oh man. Another creepy interaction in this. Oh my God! So this is the second episode that second part in the episode that had me racing. Like, but I didn't see that coming.
No.
So I didn't at all. So when he's talking to him, and here's the part. This is what makes him scarier. He was messing towards a child.
Yeah.
This is a little boy. So this is the first time that your antagonist is actually menacing towards a child. Where you can actually, like, I was legit worried for her show.
He came off as a guy in a van parking next to a kid and enticing him with ice cream to come in. Like, that's the vibe I got. And I was like, oh, this is really uncomfortable. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but Lance you said his facials and just his mannerisms and everything, the way and when he pulled the hat out and he put it on little Herschel's head, man. Holy
myself.
Shit. I thought of Glenn. I thought of like what could happen. Like, and then Elijah comes in and just he grabs Lance and just throws him against that wall, and he's like, he's threatening Herschel. And oh boy, the shit was gonna hit the fan right there, man. I like that scene where all the guns are drawn. And I think I love Maggie's line where I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines of, we didn't come this far without having to do what we had to do when she had the gun on. Pretty much saying, like, we'll kill you if we have to. No sweat. We won't even, like, regret it, And that was a good scene right there altogether.
Yeah. You're getting the sense of shit's coming, especially when they had to lower their guns.
Yeah.
Like, Lance was like, all right.
Such in that shit-eating grin,
we're gonna do this, but I got you.
Yeah.
I got you, and I'm gonna get you.
All right, let's touch upon this one now. When the show comes back after the cold open, we got Mercer and Princess, a scene I've been waiting for since they both got on screen together, because of course in the comics they do hook up, but here it's a little different because it's a little bit more it's more genuine and less comedy, because they really toned down Princess a lot in this season.
Well, because it's changing both characters.
Yeah.
So you also it's softening Mercer up a little bit,
which we did not get in the comic whatsoever.
No. And I mean, I gotta just fucking Mercer that dude is huge.
Jacked.
Yo, I mean,
if
I watched that.
If I'm these producers, Michael James Shaw, the actor, you hire this guy. This guy he's chiseled. You know what? Use it to your advantage. They had to write a scene with him just working out.
As a gay guy, like, damn, like I appreciate it, and I'm sitting there, and at the same time, I'm like, if I saw that coming my way, I'd be scared.
Scary.
Like, that just it made you even see more of the strength that the Mercer character has. Like, this is like he's working out like that. Yo, I mean, but him and his sister, I love the interaction with Max.
Oh man, let me tell you, that actress is beautiful, bro.
I like,
the more I see her, the more I fall in love with her, man. Eugene, bro.
So I just love the scenes with Mercer and Princess, especially when he turned back to talk to her,
Yeah.
to explain to her, like, the awkward situation they had before,
Mhm.
and her explaining herself also and trying to say, I understand. So you got to see this, like, so she like give him the softness. But what's also kind of freaking me out a little bit is because I'm still feeling we're going to get the Rick kill, and I'm still trying to figure out the list there.
And we don't know who it
Who's
is. Yeah.
who is going to be, and her softening Mercer up, and then Mercer turning on the Commonwealth now
Oh
has put
man,
Mercer on my list of. So yeah, so now we've got Daryl, Mercer, and
Aaron.
I'm
I would put
and
Aaron on
Aaron.
there.
But Mercer is now, because now you're getting a different character in Mercer.
That's a good shout.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, when they stray from a character in the comic books and they start giving this character some good background story, and you're seeing a change in the person, unfortunately, that person ends up being, the person that ends up getting killed. So maybe not to piss off fans, they might not do Aaron or Daryl, and it be Mercer, because it's going to be the reason I'm looking at it, because it'll lead to what we're going to talk about next, which is comes the list with Max being involved. I think that it's going to come to a point where Mercer is going to have to defend his sister, get involved in a situation, and Sebastian's going to end up taking out Mercer. That's I mean, we've been all the season long. We're going to we'll figure out to the end.
I'm gonna tell you this
But
right now.
Mercer has now gone up because of this episode and the softening of his character.
I spend a lot of time on the internet. I love researching shit, man. And this is the first time I don't think anybody has brought up the fact that it could be Mercer. And it fits because Mercer doesn't want to kind of ruffle the feathers of the Miltons. And he's kind of being forced into this position. And I love when Max told him, "You're nothing more than a poster." And that got him thinking, like, oh man, she's right. So, dude, that's a good shout, man. That's a
I,
good shout. Ezekiel, let's talk about Ezekiel real quick. He's healthy. I love seeing him happy, man. I love it. It's something about that smile, man. It's so like contagious. You just want to just hug the guy, and seeing him and Carol kind of like he's trying to flirt, but she's not having it, but she's really flirting in her own way, and they just love each other still. It's just so awesome, man. And Tommy, Yumiko's brother,
brother.
he's in the show more than she is now. I like him. I like the character a lot. I like the actor. I don't know who he is, but he's very
Ian Michael Dale, something like that.
yeah. You've seen him.
I've seen him
before?
a couple of
Yeah,
things.
he's good.
Yeah, I've seen him a
I
couple
like
of
him.
things.
But yeah, real quick, nothing too crazy to get into. But when Ezekiel goes for help, I literally thought he was asking
an animal.
Yes, I was always
I did at first.
That's why I didn't say, just fucking go or something.
All right. I'll be honest with you. For me, because of everything else going on in the episode, I kind of didn't need this in the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I got it because I think there's obviously something going on with, now you're showing that inside the Commonwealth, you've got other stuff that are going on. So like you've got Ezekiel who's taking care of the poor people who can't afford to get the medical.
Yeah.
So again, we're rebuilding United States, and we're back to again where if you don't have the money, you're not going to get the medical help.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go by these routes. So okay, social aspects, I get what they're, as far as what they're doing, but for me, I kind of didn't really need.
Yeah, you know what it is?
These scenes in there.
This was sandwiched in between other stuff with Lance and Hilltop, and then when it goes back to Ezekiel and all that, you're like,
I like it,
but can we go back to what's going on over there?
It took me out. There was other stuff going on in those other ones that I didn't need this. So it's kind of like it, especially if you're going to be, you're having my heart race through the episode with all the scenes with Lance, right, and then we get this, and it's like
it slows it down. You're right.
It slows it down. So it just kept taking the momentum out of the episode for me. Mm-hmm. I get it. Obviously there's a reason, but it was just I could have done without him.
I feel you on that. Also, Eugene, we see Eugene back. He goes, he's with Rosita, and they invite Kelly and Connie over because they want to discuss what's going on with Sebastian and kind of the underbelly of the Commonwealth. And then Connie pulls out the list. Like, what'd you take out of that?
Well, now we're finally figuring out that there's obviously these are people that the Commonwealth could have done without.
Yeah.
I think which is just another little
They're
scarier
they're
part.
expendable. They're
They're
expendable.
expendable. That this is another scary part, that there's an actual list that they can have where they have these people. You're at the bottom of this list.
Yeah.
So yet again, here we are. Society is trying to build itself up, and unless you're rich, power, elite, you're basically expendable.
So this list, who came up with it? Like, this is one thing I'm kind of curious about, because it could be a number of people within the Commonwealth at this point.
Well, I mean, you have maybe two people that I would put it on. Lance being one of them, because
Everything goes back to Lance. Yeah.
Well, with the last episode, especially with Carol's interaction with him talking about the money, so he knew about it.
Yep.
So Lance, I probably would put him on top of the list, and Pamela, because it's her people, so she would have to have access into like the whole chain of things.
From them two, I would say Lance 100%, because Pamela, I don't think she knows anything that's going on as far as all the shady shit that Lance is up to, because he's doing everything behind her back, essentially. Going by the conversation he had with Toby, back when he first hired him.
Yeah. But however, just because they're showing him mostly, in a lot of shows, when you're seeing this one character doing all this bad stuff, then you end up finding out there's been one person behind him actually leading along the way. So, we don't, Pamela has all along been painted as actually she's not all that bad, but could it be different?
All right. Final thing here. The thing I probably like the least, of course, it's Leia. Lance is pissed off at Maggie, of course. He doesn't show it at the Hilltop. We know it, though.
Well, he showed it.
Yeah, you're right.
He showed it. He didn't say it.
Yes,
but his face said, "I am not fucking happy right now, and I'm gonna get this bitch." That. Like he was like, "Oh yeah, no," he was not happy.
But this I wasn't expecting, though. I got to give it that, though. They tracked her down, and pretty much they want to hire her to take out Maggie, and that's pretty much where the episode ends. And again, I hope Leia's not in it for the long run. It's not that I don't like her. I don't like what they did with the character, and her character reminds me of the Reaper arc, and I don't want to be reminded of that. I love what's going on now, and I don't want nothing to get in the way of disrupting that flow. And so I hope next episode that's over, we got the mid-season finale coming up, and I think it's a good lead-in for that mid-season finale, though. I like that, because so many possibilities could come out of it. What I don't want her to linger on as this antagonist, that just comes in.
Yeah, don't drag it out.
No.
It worked with the governor, but there was a lot of layers to that story.
Yeah.
Leia doesn't come with the layers for the story. And then the layer that she did have, and we did know, they basically just shit upon to turn her character totally different.
Yeah.
So, there's not a lot for me. I'm not invested in her being a all season long antagonist. Like I don't need to see her at the end of the season finale.
One last note I got here, though, before we get to your notes. Lance is the only character from the entire cast from the second half that's been in every single episode.
Really?
Yeah. Not Daryl, not Maggie, not Carol. Lance. So Lance is
getting it. Lance is getting it soon then.
Bro, I can't get over it. I think you're right. I think it's Mercer, bro. I think he's taking him out, bro. Everything lines up.
It wasn't there something we talked about that ended up happening? You were like, wait, hold on. So I don't know. Like I said, it's just the way. And for me, it was the scene with him and Princess in the hallway.
Yeah, and also
because
with Max too, the combination of him and Max and him and Princess, like they're both pushing Mercer into a totally different direction.
But see, for me, in that scene when he stopped to meet Princess, you just finished seeing a whole display of him. Like, there's workouts. I work out, and I haven't tried that whole going up and down with the. And I saw that. I'm like, fuck, I can't do that. I'm like, that's why you look like that, and I look like this.
And we got pissed and just dropped it. The sound they made, how heavy it was.
But you saw him like showing this big, massive man, and then in that scene, just the way it was shot. and he was talking, he went from like a 6 foot something man to like, you know, a 5 foot man.
Yeah,
who was just like he saw, like he basically he's understanding things.
Yep.
He's realizing there's a bigger picture in all things. And you know, that's going to be the thing that I think softening him up is what's going to leave him open to not see it coming.
All right, Joe, verdict. What you got? What you give this episode? What's your score?
All right. If I would have given this 4.5 because of the other stories, but since you had to put in the Tommy and Ezekiel one, I'm giving this a 4. Other than that, again, it's the elevation of, you know, Lance probably being the biggest antagonist in Walking Dead series.
Yeah, I went to 3.5, but the strength of Lance alone and the scenes with Mercer, you brought up a good point with his future, what it could possibly be. I think you just elevated all of Mercer's scenes for me even higher. So I'm gonna go with a 4 too. It's a penultimate. Like, it wasn't the most like exciting all around, but I think what was there was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was a little filler here and there in it. But at least it involved characters I liked, so I'm not gonna complain about that, with the exception of Leia. But that's gonna be it for this episode of the Horror Fiend TV podcast covering The Walking Dead. Come back next week for the mid-season finale, Acts of God. I am not a god, but I am Ricky Grimes. We got my man Joe. Thank you for coming along. Please like, subscribe, share this video. We would really highly appreciate that. Horror Fiends, come back next week. Last episode to the last 8, man. What a ride. Remember, guys, stay scared.
Don't get bit.
These devils be savages, slimmed and chance with the averages. Sitting on the low like you added slick. Darkness make you disappear like a magic trick. Put up to the table, come down and sit. These devils try to tie you the crown with it. Now you surrounded by counterfeits, trying to chop you up into 1,000 bits.